Yo, how's everybody doing? It's your boy College Football Weekly back here with the Week 12 rankings for this college football season. Obviously, this past week, first rankings for the committee finally dropped. I'll do reaction videos of that if I am home and able to do so. But I was on an internship last time. This time I'll be able to do a live reaction. But number 25, starting off my list, what I think the ranking should be. We got Indiana, number 25, 7-2. Really solid team. One of their losses is to Ohio State, so you can't put that against them. But another one is to Michigan State, so you do put that one against them. Michigan State's not a good loss to have on your resume to this point, especially since they lost to Illinois this past week, gave up a giant lead. Although Illinois is looking like they can do some damage here and there. But Indiana right now, I think they're in a good situation. They can maybe finish with 9 wins, 8 wins for sure, maybe 9. We'll see what they do. But right now, Indiana hanging on to that top 25 spot for me. Number 24, I got App State. Who else but App State? I love App State, man. I am rooting for them. And they lost to Georgia Southern a couple weeks ago. I thought they were going to go 12-0, but they didn't. They broke my heart. But a game where everyone thought they were going to lose, maybe on their quest to 12-0, going to South Carolina. They beat South Carolina, something Georgia couldn't do, a top 10 team. And I think they kind of, proved, hey, we're still a pretty solid team, Obviously not going to probably make it out of the 20s, even if they do go 11-1. But, hey, they're in the rankings for now. Number 23, I got Texas. Texas, I was kind of waiting for them to just take it away, just put the pieces together. I thought this team was playoff bound at the start of the year. Obviously, I was wrong. Kansas State, I thought that was the game Texas was going to make their statement, but they had to come from behind. They had to kick a game-winning field goal as time expired. They got the win. Kansas State's a decent team, but I think it's Texas, talent-wise, is just way better. I don't know why it was that close, but hey, Texas did win. Got to give them, give them benefit of the doubt, but yeah, I think they can finish with 9 wins, maybe finish in the lower teens, see what happens. But Texas, hang on to 23 for now. Iowa, man, they're a team that I think you just don't want to verse. They just have such a good defense and a good game plan. And their offense too at times looks decent, but for the most part, their offense is not their strong suit. Defense, that is a pain to go up against, and I think they could win out, but Minnesota, although, is looking like the real deal. I don't think they'll be able to beat Minnesota. So, yeah, we might be seeing, this might be one of the last weeks we see Iowa in the rankings. 21, I got Navy. I'm excited for the Notre Dame game coming up. I think Navy has a good shot at winning. I believe Navy's only loss on the season is Memphis or something. It's a solid loss. It's not a bad loss, but I'm excited to see what Navy can do against another really good opponent if they have the opportunity. Boise State at 20. They haven't really quite looked the same since the BYU loss, and I want Boise State to look good and I don't know, man. They just haven't been looking good. They've been playing close games with teams that they shouldn't be playing close games with, and I don't know. They win, though. Win is a win, and there's no reason why I don't think we should think Boise is not going to win out and finish 11-1 this year. SMU 19. SMU, their offense is a real deal. Got to give it to them. Their defense is the joke, though. And yeah, Memphis right above them. They beat them head-to-head, and although just because they beat them head-to-head, I think Memphis, too, is just overall the better team. I think they've got a really high-powered offense, but their defense, I think, is more, it's just better, than SMU's defense. At number 17, I got Notre Dame. Notre Dame, they have not been looking good on the year. They beat Duke. They were only favored by 7 in that game, I believe. So if you bet on that game, you were winning big, which I would have bet on that game. I knew Notre Dame was going to beat Duke by more than 7. Duke is a joke, so, yeah, in football. Yeah, Notre Dame, they're still trying to get things together with their offense. Defensively, they're really solid, but offensively, they need to get it clicking again. At number 16, I got Cincinnati. They're the best team in the American, I think, right now. Them and Memphis kind of battling for that top spot. They verse each other last game of the season. That is going to be a showdown we all are going to want to watch. I'm excited for it. And I think Cincy, right now Cincy's the best team in the American. Michigan, number 15, Michigan. They've been starting to get things clicking, as much as it pains me to say that. They've kind of recovered here and there since that Wisconsin beatdown. But, yeah, I think they're still very limited on what they can do on offense with Shea Patterson under center. He just can't throw the ball accurately. And running the ball can only get you so far. You can ask Iowa. You can ask Wisconsin that. Running the ball can only get you so far in this league. 14, I got Baylor. Now, many of you probably think this is low. Let me tell you why Baylor is 14. Baylor is getting by. They're just getting by the skin of their teeth. They just... I don't know, man. They just don't look like a good team. They're just barely beating like teams like West Virginia, where they should be blowing out. Teams like TCU, where they should be blowing out as well. Like teams that are below 500 and might not even make a bowl game, they are squeezing past, winning by a field goal, winning by a touchdown, going to overtime with. Yes, they have beat Kansas State, but where's Kansas State in these rankings? Nowhere to be found. They did beat Oklahoma, but that was a fluke, I think. Baylor, man, I think they are going to lose to Alabama, or not. I think they're going to lose to Oklahoma. They're going to lose to Texas, and we're going to forget about them for the rest of the year, and they're going to finish in the lower tier, the top 25, not in the playoff conversation at all. But I do think the committee, for some reason, thinks Baylor's good. So they'll probably put them in the top 10, but I don't think they belong in there. 13, I got Auburn. Auburn, solid team, I think. Despite 2 losses, they would beat Baylor head-to-head. So, yeah, same kind of situation with Florida. Florida, although, did beat Auburn, so you got to honor that. Florida's a really good defensive team. Offensively, that's a whole new story, but, yeah, good defense. Number 11, I got Wisconsin. Wisconsin coming off a good win against the man, Iowa. So, that was an interesting one. I thought Wisconsin should have won by more, but hey, a win's a win, especially against Iowa. How they play this year. It's a pain to play against them, and yeah, Wisconsin, I think they're starting to get it clicking. They still got one of the best defenses in the league, one of the best O-lines, one of the best running backs in the league. I just don't think, obviously, they're nowhere near. They can't make the playoffs, even if they wanted to. If they want out and run the table, I don't think they'll make the playoffs. And I think Minnesota might have something to say about that, too, when they meet later this year. At number 10, I got Utah. The Pac-12, man, like, it's nothing against Utah, but the Pac-12 just stinks, man. It is bad. And, yeah, Utah doesn't exactly have a good loss. It's a loss to USC. That loss is not looking good at all. But we'll see, how they do if they have to versus Oregon later in the year. Of course, number 9, I got Penn State. Penn State, I like how people are punishing Penn State losing to a top 25 team more than Georgia got punished for losing to an unranked South Carolina team. It's really hilarious, man. It is so funny how people say, oh, Penn State's 4, oh, now they're 12, now they're 11. Like, calm down, okay? Penn State has one loss. One loss. They still have a win against Michigan and Iowa on their resume, okay? Penn State is a good team still. I just think Minnesota might be the real deal this year, but Penn State's still a good team. They still deserve to be in the top 10. It's one loss. It wasn't even that bad of a loss. It was to another top 25 team on the road. And they had the chance to win the game in the end, but they just couldn't do it. So Penn State at number 9 for me. We'll see how they do against Ohio State. Obviously, they have to play them still. So that might pile another loss on there. And then I'll be fine with dropping them out of the top 10. But for now, they're hanging on to the 9 spot. Alright, here is going to be some controversy in here. I know it. We got Oregon at 8. Oregon, like I said, the Pac-12 I just don't have that much respect for. And Yeah, that is kind of proves with my ranking for Oregon. I think they are the best team in the Pac-12 purely because of their quarterback, but I don't think they can match up against really any other team in front of them. I think maybe even Penn State could beat them, and maybe Penn State's even on that level as well. So, yeah. Oklahoma, I got at 7. They've been looking, I don't know, I thought they were going to, Iowa State has been their kryptonite. They probably should have lost. It looks like Oklahoma got away with a pass interference on the 2-point conversion. But, win's a win. They got past, the upset scare once again for back-to-back weeks. And, Oklahoma's defense, I've been saying it all year, is suspect. 1 year doesn't really, it's not even that. It's just, because we saw with Ohio State, 1 year can change your defense from terrible to amazing, but Oklahoma, their defense looks just as bad as last year. I got Georgia at 6. I really wanted to punish Alabama more. I really did. But I just didn't feel right putting Georgia in front of Alabama because, yes, Georgia has a good win, right, against Florida. They got a good win against Notre Dame. But they lost to South Carolina, and I don't know, man. For me, Georgia just doesn't pass the eye test. I know an eye test is very, it's your opinion, very opinionated, but to me, man, Georgia just looks like, I feel like another kind of a ticking time bomb. Like they're just going to blow up and maybe get upset again. Or if they make the SEC title game, they're just going to get demolished by LSU. So, yeah. Alabama right above there. I really wanted to drop Alabama lower because they looked like this might be the worst. Like the players on Alabama just looked outmatched against the players on LSU, and then that's not something you see usually. It's usually the other way around, LSU usually doesn't have nearly as much talent as Alabama, and Alabama runs away with the games. But this game, first half, Alabama lost the game. They were down by 20. Tua looked awful, fumbling the ball, throwing a pick. That resulted in 14 points for LSU. A blocked punt for Alabama. And Don even mentioned this Alabama defense. Good God. I don't know which defense is worse right now, honestly. Oklahoma or Alabama. Take your pick. Because both of them are terrible. This is the worst Alabama defense I can remember in my lifetime. I'm 19 years young, boys. So, obviously, you can say all you want. But, most of my life, Alabama has been dominant. Their defense has been amazing, but this is the worst defense I have seen from an Alabama team. They just leave receivers wide. Obviously gotta give credit to LSU and Joe Burrow, right? He's a good, great quarterback, probably the best right now. But you gotta look at Alabama too. They gave up 46 points. 46! That's just inexcusable, man. And I know Alabama, as far as I'm concerned, they are out of it. Unless they make the SEC title game, they are not making the playoffs in my book. But hey, the committee loves Alabama, so they might keep Alabama in the top 4 this week. So since they lost to LSU, another SEC team, so. But Alabama, man, Tua, that offense, it's amazing. But their defense, man, it's a whole. I just feel like they're another version of Oklahoma right now. So, number 4, I got Minnesota. Whoo! Yeah, I think Minnesota's better than Alabama right now. I do. And Minnesota, man, they've got the defense, they've got a good enough offense, and they've got the coaching, man. PJ Fleck is the real deal. This is the best win I can remember in my time that Minnesota has ever had in their program. Beating a top 4 team, and hey, you beat them, replace them. I did not feel right not including Minnesota in the top 4 this week, despite they just beat a top 4. And I think they just look convincing doing it. They were in control of that game from the get-go. They're hyped, they're psyched, like I said, they're a really good balanced team. I think they're kind of like a lesser version of maybe what Ohio State is. They got a really good defense and a pretty good offense, right? I just think, obviously Ohio State just has better athletes, but Minnesota, man, look out for them. They could run the table. They could maybe upset Ohio State in the Big Ten title game. Who knows, to make to the playoff. But right now, Minnesota is deserving of that 4 spot. Clemson at 3. Clemson, obviously, easy schedule, whatever. You moved up because teams lost, not because I think you're good. Staying at 3. Ohio State, 2. Like I said, dominant. They haven't really versed anybody lately. They did beat Wisconsin pretty good. They beat Cincy pretty good. They got Penn State in a couple weeks in Michigan and close out the year. They do that, they're in, and I think they'll do that probably in dominant fashion, especially the way we saw Penn State fall. LSU, 1. Do I think LSU is the best team right now? It's hard to say no to this. It's really hard to say no since you just beat Alabama. So I'll give it to them this week. They're the best team, and they're the most deserving team of the number 1 slot. You just beat Alabama, big bad Bama, and you look good doing it. Joe Burrow, what can you say? Best quarterback in the nation right now. So LSU deserves that number 1 spot. We'll see if they hold on to it. I don't doubt LSU will be number 1 in the playoff rankings. Like, I don't doubt it. So yeah. Yeah, that's my top 25. Make sure to leave down your opinions or whatever if you disagree, agree, whatever you want to do. Appreciate y'all for watching. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe for more, and I'm out of here. Peace.